The Washita Moors, pronounced like Moor, refers to Mu, or Lemuria, the Ancient Ones, the oldest indigenous civilization on Earth, confirmed by the UN. The Empire Washita, matriarchal and matrilineal, the Washita Moors have an empress to this day. The ancient imperial seat of government is in Washita proper, in the area of Monroe, in northern Louisiana. How come we've never heard anything about it? Quite simply, they don't want us to know. My name is Michelle Gibson. On to the main theme for this video. Recently I realized a crucial missing piece that ties everything together. I already knew from my research that this ancient civilization was all about harmony, balance, beauty, sacred geometry, and unity with each other and the universe, and connecting with one's higher self, source, universal self, whatever word you choose. I just recently realized that it was never ever about organized religions, which was a stumbling block for me because of what we have been taught. Organized religions came with the hijack of the timeline as a control mechanism for humanity, and I will be delving into this shortly. I am only using this as an example to show what appears to be a spiritual warfare technique that was used in the false historical narrative we've been given, a technique that is still being used to this moment, and is the basic tenet of all of the three organized religions as we have come to know them. The non-human beings that hijacked the timeline gave us organized religions that placed source squarely outside of ourselves, and ministers, priests, rabbis, and imams as intermediaries and interpreters of this external God. They gave us the Pope, whose word in certain circumstance is considered infallible, and inviolable holy books that create dogmatic thinking and control our spiritual beliefs. The so-called lost books of the Bible have the really apropos information for humanity's spiritual development, and these teachings were all deliberately removed from the collective consciousness, like the Gnostic Gospels and the Apocrypha. These missing teachings contain, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. This is what I have come to understand as a result of my research and intuitive guidance. The Islam of the Ancient Ones is about applied sacred geometry and universal and natural laws. It is not at all about the radical Islam we see playing out today, which has been weaponized in its radical form to achieve the aims of the New World Order, just like Christianity was weaponized to take down the Moorish Empire centuries ago in the timeline that we have been given. The vast majority of southern slaves were not from Africa. They were Aboriginal Moors. It's not talked about, but probably European Moors as well, due to the triangular slave trade route between the Americas, Africa, and Europe. White became the dominant skin color there, so something happened to Europe's Moors. The only reasonable conclusion based on what I am seeing is that the majority of Moors have been massacred, genocide on an industrial scale. As a matter of speculation, I would even suggest that they were massacred in the same Holocaust of World War II, in spite of all of the photos being of white European Jews. I can list places in the world that are notorious for years-long massacres of people. In France during the French Revolution, the Soviet Union in the Stalin years, where there were pogroms against Jews. In Cambodia, tremendous killing fields in the 1970s, ethnic cleansing in Bosnia in the 1990s, the Cultural Revolution in China from 1966 to 1976, just to name a few. Why has all of this killing taken place? Something happened to all the Moors. All of these places were integral parts of the advanced ancient civilization, and their past presence is no longer evident in the respective populations of these places. Pictured here is the solar alignment that happens every spring equinox at beautiful Angkor Wat in Cambodia. And the non-human beings behind this are still at it today. I feel it urgently necessary to get this information out into collective awareness. All the craziness that is playing out in the world today is the same thing that happened to the Moors. It's from the same playbook. We have been so lied to about everything, and now they are trying to socially engineer humanity again in a different way. They always create fear, separation, and division using race and religion. They hate all humans and have no respect for life. Fortunately for us, many positive things are happening right now, and there is considerable hope for a much brighter future for humanity than what was planned for us by these dark forces. If you have a hard time believing this, so did the Moors, and their ancient, advanced civilization and memory of them subsequently got wiped off the face of the earth. They inadvertently and unknowingly opened the door for great evil to enter when the European exploration and colonial era started, because they had no concept that such evil could exist. One love is law in the Washita, as they say.